Hi, I'm Peter Davis. I'm chief of the Galveston Island Beach Patrol. I grew up on the island and I love the ocean environment. People of all types are drawn here to recreate, to relax, and to rejuvenate. But to fully enjoy the magic this place has to offer, it's important that you understand what the dangers are and a few safety rules. Learn to swim and swim near a lifeguard. Professional lifeguards provide a layer of protection for you and your family, but ultimately, your safety is up to you. Have fun, but be safe.
We were patrolling one day and got a call over the radio. One of our lifeguards had trouble with a guy, so we immediately responded. Once I got to the scene, saw the guy right in front of the rocks, jumped in the water and started trying to help him. The current was so strong I could only fight it for a little while before I was pushed back.
All I knew was there was somebody in the water, but I couldn't see him, and Austin said that he's somehow he's stuck to the rocks, he's tied to the rocks. And he was underwater at this point because the current was so strong. Me and all the other guards went into the water to try to locate the individual at the end of the rocks. At this point he was submerged and the current was so strong there was no way for any of us to fight it.
We had to launch a jet ski to help take us back and forth. We would ride the current, search for the guy, and the jet ski would take us back in front of it.
And we would have to dive through the submerged rocks until we found the individual. And at that time, I had found the submerged man and was able to grab onto him, and I had to wrap my legs around him to stay with the man because of the strong current. And Austin was able to get back to me and pass me the seatbelt cutter that he had gotten, and I cut the rope. We got the individual to shore very quickly at that point, but even with all of the hard efforts of all the lifeguards that were on scene, it was already too late.
The Texas coast has its own unique set of conditions which greatly affect waves and water. Gently sloping beaches and warm water are seductive, but there's hidden dangers beneath the surface. Understanding the environment is the key to being safe while having a great day.
Along the Texas coast, the bottom contour is very different from that of the east and the west coast, where there may be a steep drop-off. The Gulf stays shallow a long way out. It has a series of sandbars and troughs. The sandbars can be very shallow, even knee-deep, while the troughs can be over your head. Random inshore holes also form as a result of breaking waves. These holes can be very deep compared to the surrounding areas. Sandbars, troughs, and holes are created by waves and currents. One such current is known as the lateral or longshore current. A lateral current is caused by the action of the wind and waves and runs parallel to the shoreline. You can usually see the direction it is flowing by checking the angle of the waves as they rush for the shore, by watching swimmers as they float by, or checking the direction of flags blowing in the breeze. When swimming, you should always pick a reference point on shore and use it to maintain your position and to prevent you from drifting into a dangerous area. After a lateral current runs for several hours, the sandbar and trough system becomes more pronounced and there can be a steep drop-off close to shore, which creates a danger for swimmers. Another current is a rip current, which is a narrow river-like current that runs perpendicular to the shoreline and out to sea. In Texas, they typically exist alongside a pier or jetty and dissipate at the end of the structure. The lateral current that we just learned about combines with wave action to feed the rip. As a rip current flows out to sea, it digs up the sand and creates a trench or a trough, which causes the rip current to move more quickly. A rip current at times can move faster than an Olympic swimmer can sprint. Keep in mind, even after the rip current is gone, the drop-off it created can still be deep for quite some time.
If you're caught in the rip current, the first thing you want to try to do is to remain calm. Stay floating. You want to try to swim along the shoreline and then on an angle back to shore if you can do so. But if you're unable to do that, just stay floating in the rip current. Eventually its pull will dissipate. But if you're a non-swimmer and you're really unable to even stay afloat, turn around, face shore, wave your arms, yell for help, anything along those lines. If you see someone in trouble, get help from a lifeguard. If there's no lifeguard available, possibly throw them something that floats and give them advice on how to get back to shore. Don't try to go in and effect a rescue. Every year people drown trying to rescue others. Don't become a victim trying to rescue someone else.
A rip current won't pull you under. Instead, it pulls you out. They are the leading surf hazard to beachgoers. According to the United States Life-Saving Association, they are responsible for 80% of all drownings in the surf environment. Remember, the current will begin to calm down beyond the breakers or at the end of a structure, so go with the flow, just ride with the current. The key is to be smart. Don't panic if you get caught in a rip current. But better yet, don't swim within 100 feet of structures like rock jetties or fishing piers where you're likely to encounter one. If you can't spot a rip current, ask a lifeguard to point one out. If you're a kid or not a great swimmer, stay in water that is no more than knee to waist deep and always wear a life jacket. Of course, everyone should always swim with a buddy. Always know where you are. Pick a stationary reference point such as a hotel or restaurant sign and stay in front of it as you play in the water or along the beach.
The biggest danger when you're at the beach is a rip current. What you want to do is stay far away from piers and jetties, and if you're ever caught in a rip current, relax and go with the flow or swim parallel to shore and back in. Most importantly, when you're out on the beach, be aware of your surroundings at all times. When in an unfamiliar environment, it's really important that you understand your surroundings. Signs and flags are there for a reason, and the Galveston Island Beach Patrol has a number to warn you of hazards. So when you come to the beach, look around and read them before you go into the water. The more you know, the safer you'll be.
A lot of beachgoers aren't familiar with the flag system. So what do the flags really mean? The Galveston Island Beach Patrol has a flag warning system based on the United States Life-Saving Association recommendations to indicate the surf and environmental conditions on any given day. The green flag shows that surf or water conditions are calm. There is very little current and small waves, if any, on these days. But the beach is not a pool or a pond, and even on the calmest days, there are still dangers, such as inshore holes, an uneven bottom, and currents. The yellow flag tells us that surf or water conditions are moderate. There are waves and currents that are visible on these days. You should remain closer to shore than you would on a calm day and be extra cautious. The red flag shows we have very dangerous surf conditions. There are strong currents and big waves on these days. You should be very careful. In fact, lifeguards recommend experienced swimmers don't go out over waist deep and non-swimmers and children stay completely out of the water. No matter what surf condition flag is flying, you need to be cautious because it is never 100% safe out there. The currents and the bottom contour can change throughout the day. Keep an eye out for changing weather conditions as well. A purple flag means that there could be dangerous marine life in the area, such as jellyfish, man-o-war, or stingrays. The orange pennant flag is used in Galveston to show there is an environmental alert for air or water quality. Ask the lifeguard why it is being flown and check for information on the air water quality sign on the back of the lifeguard tower. The surf conditions flag can be flown with another type of warning flag in various combinations depending on what is going on in the environment that day. For example, you could have a yellow flag for moderate surf conditions coupled with a purple flag for the presence of large quantities of jellyfish. If you forget which flag means what, look for the sign posted on the back of the lifeguard towers and at strategic locations along the beaches. Check them out each time you're at the beach.
It's important that you pay attention to signs when you come to the beachfront. For example, the lifeguards post signs near structures, at park entrances, and on the lifeguard towers. For example, there are no swimming signs near the rock jetties where dangerous rip currents are that can be harmful. Flags are an important way to let the public know what the conditions are for that day. A red flag means dangerous surf, yellow means caution, and green means it's relatively calm. Purple flag means the presence of dangerous marine life, and an orange triangle could mean that there's an environmental alert for air or water quality for that day. Texas beaches are notoriously hot during the summer season. Usually that's not a problem, but in the dog days of summer, if you're a person who spends most of their time in an air-conditioned environment, you can be vulnerable to heat stroke or heat exhaustion. And remember, pets are susceptible as well.
Your body gets rid of excess heat and cools itself by sweating. When you're dehydrated, you don't sweat as much. The heat builds up and high humidity adds to the problem. To avoid heat exhaustion or heat stroke, drink liquids and lots of them, especially water or decaffeinated drinks. In fact, water is the best drink on a hot day. But don't wait until you're thirsty. Thirst is not a reliable sign that your body needs fluids. It needs them long before you feel thirsty. Know the symptoms of heat exhaustion: skin that is pale or clammy, dizziness, fatigue, headache, nausea, vomiting, muscle cramps, and weakness. If these symptoms apply to you or a friend, go to a lifeguard or call 911. Then move to a cool place, lie down, drink water to replace the fluid loss, and pour water over the skin. If the affected person is confused or their skin is flushed and they are not sweating, get help immediately. You have a medical emergency on your hands. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke can be prevented. Stay cool and drink water, lots of it. Don't forget to protect your eyes. A good pair of sunglasses with a high UV protection is essential. Stay out of the sun as much as possible in the middle of the day. If you've got fair skin, blue eyes, and red or blonde hair, your risk of sunburn is increased.
Remember to take precautions for heat and sun so you don't ruin a great day at the beach. Remember to cover up, wear sunscreen, and the right sunglasses. Most importantly, hydrate and watch for signs of heat illness. Then go have fun. When we're in and around the water, we're not in our natural environment. The more we understand and respect the creatures that live there, the less chance we'll have of an unpleasant encounter.
When you're at the beach, it's not just the water and the weather that spells danger. There are also things that sting, bite, and cut, and we're not talking about sharks. Many people are afraid of being bitten by a shark at the beach, but the chances of you being bitten by a shark are much less than being struck by lightning. You are much more likely to encounter a stingray, jellyfish, or man-o-war while swimming at the beach. Stingrays bury themselves in the sand in shallow water trying to escape predators looking for lunch. There is a barb on the tail that acts as its primary defense system. It is not used offensively, but when you plod out there and step on him, he will whip his tail forward and greet you. The pain is excruciating. If you're hit, go to the lifeguard. They will clean the wound and give you a heat pack for the pain, then send you to the emergency room. If no guard is available, submerge your foot in hot water, but not hot enough to burn the skin. After half an hour, go to the doctor. Call 911 if there are any complications. There is a 100% infection rate of these punctures. You have to get the sheath out and make sure your tetanus shot is up to date. To avoid an unwanted ER trip, shuffle your feet when wading in the water to let the animals in the water know you're coming. Stingrays will move ahead and out of your path. So will other creatures like catfish and even crabs. While they don't sting you, their spines, scales, and pinchers can cut. Anything in the beach environment is loaded with bacteria, so remember to clean even small cuts well. You have a good chance of being stung by a jellyfish or a Portuguese man-o-war while swimming at Galveston. There are several stinging jellies in these waters, but the most common one is the cabbage head. Their sting is relatively mild. The Japanese jellyfish or sea nettle has a slightly more severe sting. A far worse sting comes from the Portuguese man-o-war, which is a marine creature that looks like a blue or purple balloon with tentacles. Portuguese man-o-war are actually not jellyfish, but a colony made up of 4 different organisms. The remedy of choice is to immediately pour vinegar on the sting, carefully remove any tentacles that are present using a towel or glove so as not to touch it, and avoid scratching or rubbing the area. Usually, the pain subsides in about 20 minutes to several hours. It's going to hurt even after you treat it. Once you're stung, you're stung. Though treatment at the beach is usually sufficient, the pain can be bad. Applying a topical anesthetic or ice can help with the pain if needed. If you need help, ask a lifeguard. By the way, you don't want to touch or pop the dead man-o-war that have washed up on the beach. 2 weeks of baking in the sun and they can still sting you or spray you in the face. Another danger is people that barbecue. Many people think it best to bury their coals to extinguish them, but the sand actually lets a little air through, so the coals stay lit and stay hot for a long time and heat the sand on top of them. The heated sand doesn't look any different from the other sand, and people walking along the beach can get severe burns on their feet if they step on the buried coals. Pour water and lots of it over hot coals until they are absolutely out. Then dispose of them properly in a trash can, but don't bury them.
Jellyfish and man-o-war can cause stings, but that's not a reason to let it ruin your day. Appropriate prompt treatment can get you back in the game quickly. Remember, shuffle your feet and thoroughly clean cuts, even small ones that you get at the beach.
When you see litter on the beach, you might want to think about who it impacts other than yourself. For example, this glass bottle could cut someone's foot, causing a serious injury. Here on Galveston's beaches, we've recently launched a new campaign called Clean, Green, Pristine, which helps prevent littering, promote recycling, and preserve the beaches for the animal life and marine life that call it home. So help us protect the beach for future generations, and always remember to do your part by picking up your trash.
I'd like to thank you for taking time and choosing the city of Galveston to visit. One of the most important things you can do while you're here is use common sense and protect yourself and your family so that we can protect you. Please keep all valuables out of plain sight in your car. Don't forget to lock your vehicle. If at all possible, park in a well-lit area. And most importantly, keep an eye on your children. Should you see anything that's suspicious to you, make sure you report it to the Galveston Police Department at your earliest convenience. We'd like to thank you for choosing Galveston Island for your vacation destination.
All that said, where else could you have that much summertime fun as you can at the beach? It's where the girls are. It's where the guys are. Mix in a few safety tips and life doesn't get much better than this. Stay away from the jetties and piers so you avoid dangerous rip currents. Obey the warning signs and the flags. Take precautions for heat and sun. And don't dive in head first. If you hit something you can't see in the water, you're risking a spinal injury. It's feet first, first time. Swim sober and swim with a buddy. Children and non-swimmers should wear life jackets when in or around the water. Above all, keep your eyes on the water and know what is going on around you.
You are in charge of your safety, but lifeguards are there to help you if something goes wrong. We want you to have a great day at the beach and you and your family to get home safe. Remember, if you can't swim, don't go in. Now you've got all the tools and info you need for a great day. Have fun, be safe. We'll see you on the beach.